Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of the Overdrive Files. And I know it's been a pretty controversial last few days for supporters of Zack Snyder's Justice League. There's some people that have been coming at us. I've been watching the Twitter fights, people going at it. And props to Film Gob for going on the live stream on Jody's Corner. It was a pretty heated debate, and I think Film Gob went on it pretty last minute notice, and I just wanted to thank him for going in there, holding his own, and not many people would have went into that. So Film Gob's definitely got some big balls, so I got to give the man props. So just want to say thank you. But there is some Snyder Cut news to get into. There is a event going on this Tuesday, April 21st. So yeah. Just release the Snyder Cut hashtag event that I just wanted to share with you guys, that a bunch of Twitter, online, Zack Snyder's Justice League supporters are doing. Throughout most of the world where the date is written, day/month, Tuesday marks a relevant date amongst the release of the Snyder Cut community. This 21st day of the fourth month, 21-4, we invite everyone to join together in one voice to say, we are hashtag release the Snyder Cut. We are the paying customers, the real life people, the ones who consume the media and appreciate the art of film. We are the call to arms for ethical practice, for defending creativity, for lighting injustice, and for helping those who are troubled. United, we are one. So we invite you all to help trend hashtag release the Snyder Cut and add a second hashtag that pertains to you personally. It could be something you like, such as hashtag video games, or it could be what you do, such as hashtag teacher. So just another hashtag release the Snyder Cut event that's going on April 21st. And as you can see here, there are posted times of where they would like to, or I guess when they would like everybody to tweet out. And you can tag Warner Brothers, whatever. But yeah, if you're in the Pacific time, that's 7:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10:14 a.m. So yeah, there you go. Another thing that popped up, guys, that I just have to share. If you did not see this, and I don't know how you could not. It was all over my timeline. It pretty much exploded. But this is from John Garza, who's a great proponent of Zack Snyder's Justice League online. If you have not seen his, he did pretty much an edit of Man of Steel and the beginning of Batman v Superman with the Metropolis sequence at the beginning of BVS. Awesome, incredible. Go check that out. I think it's Black Zero, something like that. I'll try and include a link in the description. But anyway, I have to scroll down here, but I want to get into a little bit of what's included in the article. But in a blink and you'll miss it. In a blink and you miss it moment, DC comic artist David Williams wanted to emphasize the lighter side of DC Comics world. But just how does one go about doing so, you ask? By subtly drawing a caricature of the director that attempted to reshoot Zack Snyder's Justice League. Looking at the panels below, you'll notice there's a very familiar looking homeless person lying on the ground. He's wearing what looks to be an Avengers shirt with a sign next to him that reads, "I tried." For those unfamiliar with that homage, it's from the opening of Justice League that was most likely an attempt to give Whedon some sympathy. Instead, it just made things worse. To make matters even more hilarious, Williams evidently showed it to Jay Oliva, director of the Dark Knight Returns animated films. Oliva then showed it to Zack Snyder, director of Batman v Superman, and both shared a laugh. Unfortunately for DC fans wanting to take part in the humorous drawing, the editors caught the jab before it could go to final printing, but that just means they'll have someone replace Joss Whedon in the Beach Blanket Bad Guys #1 when it debuts. So if we scroll down here, you can see the panels from this comic. You can see here, this is clearly a caricature of Joss Whedon. There's the sign "I tried," which was placed in the beginning of Justice League's opening credits. And it also looks like this guy is trying to give him... I saw some people on Twitter saying it was like a drink or something, but this to me, it looks like shawarma or something. And obviously shawarma was part of post-credit scene or the ending of the Avengers from 2012. You can even see here, you might have to look really closely, but there's a tear that's shedding down Joss Whedon's cheek there. I thought this was hilarious. I wanted it to share it with you guys. Really, really funny. I just wish it would have made it into the final print of this comic so I could buy it, to always remind myself that this man took part in destroying a movie that should have been phenomenal and we all would have loved. But anyway, moving on. Now, this is just some bizarre stuff. And I remember hearing that... actually, it's the next one. There we go. I remember hearing that Darren Aronofsky was supposed to do a Batman film way back in the day. And this is from Cineblend here. But Darren Aronofsky left his Batman movie after studio wanted former teen icon instead of Joaquin Phoenix. And I may have heard that like Joaquin Phoenix was considered at one point. But the man to the right of Joaquin Phoenix here, Freddie Prinze Jr.? Are you kidding me? So, okay, this article gets into a little bit about it. In 1998 to 2004 was a weird period for Batman, as following Batman and Robin. There's also supposed to be a third Schumacher movie, Batman Triumphant. Never made it past production. It was pretty much shut down. Getting critical beatdown, Warner Brothers was desperate to find a way to reinvent the Caped Crusader for the big screen. Ultimately, Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins was chosen to launch a new cinematic era for the superhero. But before then, among the projects that were in consideration was a Darren Aronofsky-directed Batman. Had the Requiem for a Dream filmmaker gotten to make the Batman movie he wanted, he would have cast Joaquin Phoenix as Bruce Wayne. I think that would have been a pretty good choice. I've always loved Joaquin Phoenix. However, it turns out the main reason Darren Aronofsky left the project is because Warner Brothers wanted Freddie Prinze Jr. for the main role. I got a quote from Aronofsky. I remember thinking, we're making two different films here. That's a true story. It was a different time. The Batman I wrote was definitely a way different type of take than they ended up making. Now, I don't know how anyone could really, as like a producer, okay, like Freddie Prinze Jr., it's fine. He was a teen icon, whatever. He was in movies like I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. She's All That. But like as a producer, it's like if I put my sort of mindset on like a corporate man, like I don't know how someone would watch She's All That or like I don't know if Varsity Blues was an early 2000s film. I don't know how somebody watches. Actually, I don't. That was Chris Evans? No, I'm getting mixed up. That's another teen movie. But anyway, I don't know how somebody watches like She's All That and it's like that's Batman, that's Bruce Wayne. And I mean, sure, he might have the kind of like the jawline, the Bruce Wayne jawline, but like. If you look at any of his acting ability or his personality in any of his roles, like that does not come off as like Batman or Bruce Wayne. And like, I honestly hope that like executive was fired, but I don't know. Maybe it was like Toby Emmerich or something like that. I have no idea, but I was just completely blown away that like they considered Freddie Prinze Jr. as Batman. That's just completely mind-blowing to me. And I honestly think Joaquin Phoenix would have done a pretty good job. But he obviously that didn't happen. And we got him as Joker, which I thought was phenomenal. So yeah, there's that. Pretty interesting stuff, though. All right, we got a little bit of Wonder Woman news to get into. And there's been some like new stills, new promo photos that have come out. But this does get into sort of... Now, there's been a lot of sort of Wonder Woman's comment at the end of BVS where she's tells Bruce that she walked away from mankind for a century. And then obviously in Wonder Woman, came out 2-3 years ago at this point. I guess it would be Justice League. But anyway, this article gets into how Wonder Woman 1984 isn't, I guess it's still supposed to be canon with Batman v Superman. But anyway, there's a statement here from I think it was an article with Empire magazine. But anyway, to say that the DCEU timeline is currently a mess would be a pretty huge understatement. With the shuffling of directors mid-filming, Warner Brothers constantly changing approach to building a cinematic universe, and multiple actors playing the same role, audiences can be forgiven thinking the studio no longer cares about the interconnectivity between different films in the franchise. But in an interview with Empire, it was confirmed that Wonder Woman 1984 is keeping to the canon established by Batman v Superman. According to Empire, Batman v Superman is still canon in Wonder Woman 1984, and Diana works at the Smithsonian Museum to keep track of any dangerous or mystical items, and lives in the Watergate complex where she has a view in any direction of Washington and can monitor the U.S. government. I think that's fine. But yeah, the Warner Brothers, the management shift and the executives in place, they pretty much fudged up what they had, there's no going back in time and sort of fixing things. The most we can do is sort of be supportive of Zack Snyder's Justice League and, do what we can as fans to contribute to Warner Brothers and Zack being able to release that someday. And who knows, he might get another project on like HBO Max, or he might even be able to do it as like a feature film that's put out in theaters. But anyway, you can really tell Warner Brothers in the Walter Hamada era, they've really separated themselves from trying to do an interconnected sort of universe. Shazam was almost completely disconnected, although there were tie-ins as far as like, there's Batman's Batarang and a bullet that hit Superman, little things like that. Obviously, that wasn't Henry Cavill in the suit at the end of Shazam, but it was tied in a little bit. Wonder Woman 1984, I don't necessarily think it's going to have much to do with Batman v Superman or Justice League. It takes place before all those events. And I think the reason why they did that is it gives Patty Jenkins and the writers more freedom, I guess, so that they don't have to be tied down to a pre-existing universe, which I guess that's what they want. But us as fans, we want that interconnectivity. But although like Wonder Woman 1984, like to me, although I'm kind of looking forward to it and I hope it's great, to me it almost looks a little too like commercial. Like when I watch the trailers or even some of these stills, like, these are like promo images, at least I think, but they might be like still shots from the movie, like frames that they took and put them in this magazine. Like just the lighting, it almost looks like it's like, I thought like this almost looks like the cinematography is like from a makeup commercial, like those Maybelline makeup commercials. And that's sort of what I've thought, like those, I guess, Supergirl on the CW. Like I've always hated the lighting on that show. But yeah, I hope this movie's good, but I'm just not a fan of the way it really looks, unfortunately. And it's a shame because like the first Wonder Woman movie, I liked that like stark contrast from Themyscira, where you have like the good like blue water and the sand, and then it's like this tropical island in like Greece or wherever, and then it cuts to like World War I, like 1917, 1918, with this like gray and gritty look to it. This war environment that this character is now sort of like thrown into. I thought that was really cool. And like this movie, it's like, okay, well now she's in like a shopping mall in 1984, and there's probably going to be a lot of pop music, and it just seems like an attempt to make it more commercially successful rather than a good story, I guess. Like the story for Wonder Woman 1984, not that we've seen the movie yet, but from what I gather, like it almost feels like it could take place in any time frame. So I think they're just sort of really trying to capitalize on the 1980s that are sort of that nostalgic popularity at the moment. But anyways, guys, that's it for this episode. Please leave your thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for future videos. I'm Rex Overdrive. I'll see you next time.